So to start with, we're going to go to menu. We're going to do all of this on the device itself. I'm actually not going to use the laptop for this demonstration. So we're going to go to wave, and then we're going to go down to sampling. I'm going to hit enter. And then we're going to select recording source to pad. You can also use input and pad if you've got something like a guitar connected and you want to record the guitar and the pads at the same time. Or you can just select input as well. But we're going to use pad because, of course, all of our sounds are going to come from the patch that we're using. So you can see there we have our levels. And, of course, we want to make sure that they're not going to peak. Those all look okay to me, and we can actually adjust the record level. And also I noticed that if you adjust the master volume, that's going to affect the level that actually records as well, not just the level coming out of it. Now today I've actually plugged my audio interface that I record the sound from this through into the headphone jack of the SPD SX Pro, and the reason I've done that is so that you can hear my click. Of course, the click isn't going to record onto the loop itself. And then I'm going to hit standby. And I've got it set to trigger a recording once it hears a certain volume. But the reason I've done that is because you get a perfect start then to your recording, because it's going to go down, it's going to start on the 1, which is exactly what we want in this case. So I've just set it to 5 because I don't want it too high. I'm not playing particularly loud here. But let's go to standby, and I'm going to turn my click on. And you'll see that as soon as I start playing, it'll start recording. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I've stopped my recording there. Now what we're going to do is just go to wave edit, and we're just going to have a bit of a look at where I've ended that. So I'm going to leave all the fat on for now, and what I mean by that is just where it faded out at the end. I don't want to cut it too abruptly in case when I come to loop it in a moment I've cut too much off. So if I hold shift, I can actually zoom out, and then I can use this dial up here to get my start point. Now I'm going to start right at the start of the sound, of course, but it should have done that anyway. But if I hit preview, okay, that's fine. So I'm going to move along. I'm going to use the up and down arrows and move to the end point there. Now I can see that I've got lots of fat on the end of that. I can use shift and do this as well, and that's going to move it along a bit quicker there. Okay, so I'm going to leave a fair bit on there so that I know I've got plenty of, as I say, fat, just so that I can trim it for the loop. And I'm going to just assign that to pad 1. So I'll replace what I've already got there, which is my loop from earlier. Let's go to execute that. Okay, that's completed. Now, if I go back to my kit, you can see that I've got this wave that I've just created. Okay, now we're going to need to make a few adjustments. I'm going to go into menu, kit 1, edit, enter, and now we've got our wave there. So I'm going to first of all check if it's on loop, which yes it is, it's on loop, that's good. I've got no sound on layer B because I don't want anything else playing at the same time as this. And I've got the trigger type set to alternate. The reason is if I set it to loop, or sorry, if I set it to one shot, if I now hit it, I can't turn it on and off by hitting the pad because it's going to go. Absolute chaos ensues. So if I set it to alternate, so now we've got to make sure that our loop is set up to play properly. So I'm going to hit enter. I can go to wave edit here. Now we can go to loop point or end point. I'm just going to go to the end point because I want to use the entire thing. And what I'm going to do is use shift and just move this around a little bit, move this along a little bit. Okay, so you can see where the wave starts fading out there. So that's going to be towards the end of that last note. So let's try if we can figure out how much of that we want. I'm going to leave a bit on for now. Just going to hit exit there, and I'm going to hit play now and see what happens. Okay, so you can hear there's plenty of fat still on that. So let's go back to wave edit, go along to end point. I'm going to use shift again, and I'm going to move it to there now. Okay, exit again. Okay, right. So that's probably not absolutely perfect. I could check it with a click. But I'm not going to do that right now. I'm sure you guys can work out how to do that. What we can then do from that is, if we really want to, we can play along with it now, and we don't even have to be on the same patch to do so. If I trigger it, then move to this. There we go, we can play along. Now you may notice it sounds a little bit quiet, doesn't it? It sounds like I've recorded it too quiet. That's actually not true. If I go back to the menu here, make sure that I've got the right pad selected. Now I have. Then I can go to menu, pad edit, enter again, back to wave edit, and I can normalise it, and that's going to make it normalise the volume so that it's sort of more similar to the rest of them. And I can also choose to rename it, so I can call it whatever I want. So let's go, we'll just call it, we always call them silly names on these videos, so we'll call it Anthony. You know what, I can't be bothered to type Anthony, we're going to call it Ant. And I'm just going to hit execute there and hit OK. It's going to take a second to process. Okay, we've got Ant now, so I'm going to go back to kit, check, and there we go. It's assigned to P1 for us. It should be louder than before. You can hear it all fits in now.